We're doing training today on recruiting and some ideas and some things to make you think.
So I'm going to talk about recruiting at parties and with hostesses a little bit. You'll have to pardon me because two of my new recruits are here, so I'm going to talk about them. One of them was a host. Emily was a host of mine. I met her at the fair, and she wanted to get some stuff for free. And so we set up a party, and I talked to her about being a consultant, and she said, oh my goodness, no, I have all these things going on, and it didn't seem like that was going to go anywhere. That's fine. I would be happy to do a party. So we did a party. Sales were good, and when I delivered the order, she said, I still need to get some more stuff. I'm going to have another party because I want to get all these modular mates for my kitchen. And I said, really? You should just be a consultant because, and we talked about that you don't have to go out and do parties if that doesn't fit for you. You can get the consultant discount, you can share the discount with your friends, you can do sampling, there's all kinds of ways that you can be involved in Tupperware. And it's only $30 down. I explained the $30 down, the $900 in your first 60 days. She's coming up to the her first 60 days at the end of the month, and she will get the rest of her kit paid off. So Emily was one of my examples of a hostess who became one of my consultants because she wanted some more things. My second one, I think also for the month of October, was Lindsay. And Lindsay I met at someone else's party, and she dated a party. And then as we were talking at the end of her party about the things that she wanted, it just makes sense. And she's getting ready to set up her own place. It makes sense for her to get the most out of her money as a consultant. She can earn the money, she can put the things in her own cabinet, and she's already passed her 900 mark. No, you're $50, is that right? Yeah, so she'll make it too. She's brand new. So anyway, so those are a couple different situations of people that I met at parties that I recruited that are now on my team through the 6 Ways flyer and the Say Yes offer that shows what comes in your kit, and it's only $30 down.
And they're smart girls, and they're at their first big training day.
Yeah, that's right.
I would like to say for the last 2 girls that I recruited, they are also here today.
Yay!
And that is a big plus. Now, one of them came to a party, and it was like, I could tell she was really interested because she hung on every word, and she was looking through the book, and she came up to me and she said, I want to have a party. Okay? So I thought, this girl needs a lot of stuff, and she probably doesn't have money to get all of it. Who does have money to get all of it, right? Yes, everyone fits in that category. So I set her up for her first party, and we went through that as a typical party, and she did a good job getting people there. And then as she was giving me her orders, she said, okay, now I have this and I have this. She was so organized, and she knew what she wanted, and I turned to her because she honestly was very good at it. And I said, you are very good at this. You should sign. So we kept going, and they got their half price orders, and they're still listing things that they could get and what they wanted, because I always give in my packet a wish list. And a lot of times that wish list will turn into a bid that you can say, you can get the rest of this at a discount. So I always put a wish list in my packet for that. And so Anita went ahead and did this. When we got everything totaled up, she had $900 in sales. Click, click. I said, this is not even an option at this point. This makes sense for you to start now. If you were ever going to try to sell Tupperware, you should do it now, because you have that first $900. If you sign up for $30 and we put all these sales under you, then you have already paid for the rest of your kit. Yeah, that does make sense. But you know what? She's really busy. She has 3 little ones. She is just a busy mom. And she had a lot going on, and she worked full time, and you know, all the excuses you can come up with of why you can't sell, she had them. But again, I said, if you're ever gonna try this, this is the time to try it. And so I was on my way home and she called me back. She had one more question, so I answered that question. And I thought, this is good, she's thinking about it. And Anita did recruit her. She talked to her husband. And that's, you know, she says, I need to talk to my husband about it. And I am a firm believer that you need that husband behind you. You can't, I mean, yeah, I can spend $30 without asking my husband, but you know, she says, I need to talk to my husband about it. And I said, that's the way it should be. You know, and that's what I meant. So she did do that, and she called me back. Before I called her, she called me back and said, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Like my husband said, it doesn't make sense not to try it right now. So that is how Anita got started. We had dated 3 at her party. She took all 3 of those. One was 2 regular parties and 1 catalog. She had been at 1 party. I did her party. I did the first party with her. Now she's on her own. So good for Anita. So Lori was a hostess at one of the parties, and I thought for sure that the hostess, I could recruit her because she knew the answers to all the questions about Tupperware. And so I'm thinking, she has a background in this. Come to find out, her mom used a lot of Tupperware. She kept telling me that. Well, mom shows up at her party, and so I could tell the more we talked, it wasn't Nicole that was interested. It was Lori. Well, it's like, okay, you know, whatever works. And it was the right timing for the right stage in her life. She had sold before. That's why Nicole knew so much about Tupperware. If you find those people who know a lot, it's because they have a background, either because their mom used it, their aunt sold it, they love it, those are the people you want to focus on. And so Lori signed back up. She's had a lot of things go on in her life lately, so, but she's in there, she's getting training, and she's turning in orders. So kudos to Lori for signing it up. Okay, there's one easy trick that you can do when you hand out your catalog or your lap order. I don't know how you do it, but that 6-way sheet, hand that out with the order form. Because this is another way you can, at some point in your party, say, okay, look at this list, you know, whether it's a ticket, go in for the drawing, whatever. Say, if you circle one of these, circle the one that interests you the most. Okay? And on the 6-way sheet, you will find out what interests them. Because I don't know who's interested in the computer networking type of thing. You know, Laura's into that, Joyce is into that, but I'm not. I can't spend lots of time in front of that, but I really like the person-to-person conversations, and I like meeting new people. I was, you know, the show and tell person. Or every show and tell I had something, you know, that's me. I love to cook. I like to share things, and that's me. And you can pick those kind of people out at a party too. But for one of the reasons that people don't recruit, we were talking about that, weren't we, Mandy? That what's keeping you from recruiting? And I will tell you that I had this. I'm a manager. I've been in and out for 30 years. Okay, this is the first time I've been a manager for over a year. Woohoo! Okay. What made the difference? The difference is that when I first started out, I always saw other consultants as a threat. They are not a threat. They will not take your business. If I have Joyce and I go to the same church, so that the impression, the first gut feeling is, oh no, we're going to all be trying to sell to the same 100 people. That doesn't, you know, no, it's because we have so many contacts outside of each other that it's okay and it works. I give the example at my parties because they say, well, you know, don't you have enough people here in Grinnell, and I did originally think about having, you know, oh, I'll get someone in Newton, I'll get someone in New Sharon, I'll get one over in Montezuma, and I'll spread out. No, I have, what, 4 right now in Grinnell, and we hardly ever touch the same people. It's like having 3 Casey's in Grinnell. Okay, 5 miles you're out of town, no matter what direction. Okay, it's small, and there's 3 Casey's, and that's the way you have to think of building your team, because Faye and I both work at the school for the schools. We're both parents. Okay, she's around people in the middle school. She has Brooklyn connections, but it's just like going to 3 Casey's. If I'm going down Highway 6 and need gas, I'm going to stop at the first one. If I'm on my way home, I'm going to stop at the one over there. If I'm over here running errands on this side of town, I'm going to stop there. Does Casey's get my business? Yes. Are the 3 stores fighting each other? No. And that's the way you have to look at it, because the more people hear about Tupperware and, you know, get something new, the more excited they are, and other people say, oh, they've all got those things and I don't. What am I missing out on? So it is very good for business to have people in an area, because that shows excitement and that things are going on with it. The other thing was our illustration from leader training. Julie was there, and she's a swimmer. I am not. Okay, but she talked about how when you date parties, you know, you take a stroke. And that's learning how to date. And many of you are just in that place where you're learning how to date parties and what word choices. And you're making it probably way harder than it is. But you're learning how to do that. Recruiting is the same thing. The more you practice, the better you get. If I swim with one arm, I'm going to go around in circles. I'm not going to grow my business. I'm not going to get very far at all. I'll be kind of treading water. We're going in circles. But if you use both arms, the recruiting and the dating, you are going to go much farther, much faster. And she gave us a little pink little wristband that I've got to wear today, and it says I can swim through. And it was a reminder to not only date parties, but always keep your eyes open for who to recruit. Yeah. Good job. Nope,